Hey, you amazing learners out there, welcome back to the deep dive.
Great to be diving in again.
So if you're gearing up for a big English exam, maybe a master's entrance, you know that vocabulary is just, well, absolutely key.
It really is. I feel like a mountain sometimes.
Totally. Feeling a little overwhelmed by, the sheer number of words. Don't worry, you're definitely in the right place today.
Yeah, we're going to try and make it clearer.
We are laser focusing on 25 really important words. They're from what we're calling Day 32, Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
Stick with us, and you'll not only understand these words, but you'll also see how they actually work, in the real world, on exams.
We want to make your study time super efficient and hopefully more effective, too.
Exactly.
Because, look, it's not about just endless lists, right, or rote memorization.
No way.
We want you to truly grasp these words, how they function in different contexts.
How they link to academic reading.
Yeah, and even how they connect to each other. Think of it like building a strong foundation for your English. One carefully looked at word at a time.
All right, so today's mission, we're diving deep into words related to the roots spec.
Ah, the seeing or looking root.
Exactly. And also some essential words around shock. That's data in English.
Yep.
Then the exclude family. And finally, words with mute.
Okay, quite a mix.
25 words total. But we promise we'll make it feel a lot less daunting.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's kick things off with that spec group. First one up is aspect.
Aspect, okay.
So imagine you're at, say, a huge exhibition about the Middle East. And the description says it will focus on various aspects of life and culture.
Okay. Various aspects.
What does that tell you about the word aspect in that sentence?
Well, it suggests we're not just getting one big picture. We'll be looking at different angles, right? Or different features of Middle Eastern life and culture.
Different parts of it.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of just a general overview, the exhibition will probably dig into specific things, maybe the food, the music, the history.
Right.
Each of those is an aspect of the bigger topic. So aspect helps us break something big down into smaller, more focused parts.
Like looking at different facets of a diamond.
That's a great way to put it. Exactly like that.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So not the whole picture at once, but specific angles.
Okay.
Next, we have spy. Now, this can be a noun, like someone who secretly gathers info.
All right. A secret agent.
Or a verb, the act of doing that. The example is, video spy cameras are being used in public places. What's the core idea here?
Hidden observation, really. A spy, the person, watches secretly. And to spy, the action, is to do that secret watching.
So not openly watching.
No, there's definitely an element of being unseen while you gather information. You hear this word a lot in discussions about, security, privacy.
Right, that secrecy is key.
Okay.
Now, let's look at suspect.
Suspect, okay.
We've got the example. He is the prime suspect in the case.
The main person they think might have done it.
And then related words, suspicion, the feeling, and suspicious. The adjective, like police are not treating the fire as suspicious.
Right.
How do these all connect?
Well, they all circle around this idea of doubt or a feeling that something isn't quite right.
Okay.
So a suspect is someone who is doubted, someone believed to have possibly done something wrong.
Possibly, yeah.
Suspicion is that feeling of doubt itself, that gut feeling. And if something's described as suspicious, it makes you feel that doubt. Like the fire, if it's not suspicious, there's no sign of foul play.
I see.
And you can kind of see how that spec root about looking plays a role again. You're sort of looking at someone or something, but with a sense of distrust.
That connection to the root is actually pretty helpful. Okay, next. Susceptible.
Susceptible.
The example is, he's highly susceptible to flattery.
Easily swayed by compliments.
Yeah. And we also had that GRE example. Women are particularly susceptible to developing depression and anxiety disorders in response to stress compared to men. What's the underlying meaning here?
Susceptible basically means easily affected or influenced by something. So in the first case, easily swayed by compliments. The GRE example, though, highlights more of a vulnerability. It suggests that women, compared to men, might be more readily affected by stress when it comes to their mental health.
More easily impacted.
Exactly. And that's a really important idea for understanding potential vulnerabilities, how different groups might react to stressors differently. It makes you think about, why that might be and what kind of support is needed.
It really does point to areas where maybe certain groups need more support or might be more at risk.
Yep.
Okay, next up, inspect and inspection, along with inspector.
Right, the looking into words.
Yeah. Examples, they inspected all campus buildings. Make sure you inspect the goods before signing. And an inspector was sent to the scene. What's the common action?
It's a careful, thorough examination. When you inspect something, you're looking at it closely, carefully, usually to check its condition or make sure everything's in order.
So not just a quick glance.
No, definitely not. Inspection is the act of doing that careful check. And an inspector is the person whose job it is, often officially, to do these inspections.
Right.
You can almost think of it as looking into something in detail. That in prefix, in inspect, kind of hints at that thoroughness.
Ah, okay. A very purposeful, detailed way of looking. Good.
Yeah.
Then we have respect.
Respect.
This can mean admiration, obviously, but also a specific, like an aspect.
Right, two key meanings.
Examples. This has been a difficult year in many respects, and she was a much-loved and highly respected teacher. How do we know which meaning is intended?
Well, it's all about context, isn't it?
Yeah, usually is.
In many respects, it means in many ways or from many points of view. It's very similar to aspect there.
Okay.
But in the second one, respected teacher, it clearly means admiration, high regard. The verb to respect has that same feeling of holding someone in esteem.
So the sentence structure usually makes it clear.
Pretty much. While the core idea is about how you view something or someone, the specific meaning shifts based on how it's used.
Got it. Context guides us. Okay, next is respective. Like in, they are each recognized specialists in their respective fields. What does respective tell us here?
Respective shows that something belongs or relates separately to each individual member of a group.
Separately.
Yeah, so they aren't just specialists in any old fields. Each one is a specialist in their own particular field. It highlights that individual connection within the group.
Okay, so my field, your field, their field. Respective fields.
Exactly that.
All right. Then we have spectator. The stadium will seat 60,000 spectators. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, these are the people watching an event, the audience, the ones who are there to see something. Again, that aspect root is right there, seeing, viewing.
Makes sense. Okay, speculate, along with speculation and speculator. Example. It is useless to speculate why he did it. What does speculate mean here?
Here, speculate means guessing, basically. Forming opinions or theories about something without having solid evidence. Wondering about possibilities.
It's guessing.
But speculate also has another important meaning related to finance.
Oh, right, like the stock market.
Exactly. Making risky investments, hoping for a big profit. So a speculator is someone who does that kind of financial risk-taking, and speculation can mean either the guessing or the risky financial stuff.
So it depends on the context again, could be about guessing or financial risk.
Okay.
Then spectacular.
Not the visually impressive ones.
Yeah. The waterfall is truly spectacular, and it was a spectacle not to be missed. Both suggest something visually amazing, right?
Absolutely. Spectacular, the adjective, describes something really impressive or dramatic to look at, eye-catching. And a spectacle, the noun, is often a big, grand public display. Something designed to be seen and admired, like a parade or a huge fireworks show.
Got it. All right, we're making great progress through this family. Perspective is next.
Perspective, very important word.
Examples. The exhibition provides us with a unique perspective on her work, and a historical perspective may help us understand the issue. This feels like it's about a viewpoint.
Yes, exactly. Your perspective is your particular way of looking at or thinking about something. It's your viewpoint, how you interpret things based on, your background, your experiences.
So different people can have different perspectives on the same thing.
Absolutely. And considering those different perspectives is crucial if you want to really understand a topic thoroughly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have prospect. We saw this in that GRE example. If circumstances always determine the life and prospects of people, then humanity would never have progressed.
Right. So what does prospect mean there?
It seems like future possibilities, outlook.
Exactly. Prospect here refers to the possibilities or outlook for the future. The sentence is arguing that if our prospects were totally locked in by our current situation,
Our circumstances.
right, then humans couldn't overcome challenges and improve things. It highlights that idea of potential future opportunities, and related is the adjective perspective, meaning potential or likely in the future, like a prospective student.
Ah, okay. And that connects nicely to prosper, prosperous, and prosperity.
Yes, the success words.
Example. The railway prospered from the new mining traffic, which led to economic prosperity.
So this is all about thriving, doing well financially.
Exactly. To prosper means to grow and be successful, especially financially or in terms of good fortune. Prosperous describes that state of being successful and wealthy, and prosperity is the overall condition of wealth and success. Growth, flourishing.
Got it. Almost through this first big group. Conspicuous.
That's ambiguous.
Easily noticeable, right? Like the advertisements were all posted in a conspicuous place. You couldn't miss them. Precisely. Something conspicuous stands out. It's very easy to see. No hiding involved.
Okay. Then despise. Don't cheat at the examination or your classmates will despise you. That sounds like a really strong negative feeling.
It is. Despise means to have a very strong feeling of contempt, like looking down on someone with disgust. It's powerful negative emotion, stronger than just dislike.
Right, much stronger.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally for the spec family, we have expectation, expectancy, and unexpectedly.
Anticipation words.
Yeah. Example, she went to college with great expectations.
This is about what you anticipate or hope will happen, right?
Correct. An expectation is a strong belief about what will happen in the future, or what should happen.
Okay.
Expectancy also relates to anticipation. You often see it in phrases like life expectancy, how long something is likely to last,
All right.
and unexpectedly, the adverb, just describes something that happens in a way you didn't see coming. A surprise.
Phew. Okay, we've thoroughly explored that aspect family. Lots of connections there. Yeah, it's a big one, but seeing how they link through looking or seeing really helps, I think.
Definitely. Okay, let's switch gears slightly. Our related words, statistic and data.
Data and statistics, crucial for academic work.
Totally. The example for statistic is, statistics show that the way people live determines the way they eat.
Okay, using numbers to show a trend.
And for data, we have, it is essential to protect your personal data, and multiple data collection methods are used. What's the key difference between these two, data versus statistic?
Well, think of data as the raw stuff. The individual facts, figures, observations you collect. It's like the ingredients for a recipe.
Raw information.
Exactly. A statistic, on the other hand, is something you get after you analyze that data. It's a number or fact derived from the data, often summarizing it or showing a pattern. It's like the finished dish you made from the ingredients.
Oh, okay, so you collect data.
And then you calculate statistics from that data to find patterns or draw conclusions.
That's a really clear way to put it. Data first, then statistics. Okay, now on to the clude family.
Right, meaning to shut or close.
We've got conclude, exclude, and preclude. Let's start with conclude.
Okay.
Examples. Let me make just a few concluding remarks, and it is too early for us to conclude anything. We also have conclusive and conclusion. It seems like conclude can mean finishing something,
Like ending a speech.
but also arriving at a judgment or decision.
Exactly right. To conclude can mean bringing something to an end, like those concluding remarks, but it also means to reach a decision or form an opinion based on the evidence or information you have.
And conclusive.
Conclusive evidence is evidence that's so strong it leaves no room for doubt. It leads you to a definite conclusion, which is the final result, the judgment, or the end point.
Okay, makes sense. Then we have exclude. They exclude those who have stopped looking for a job, and try excluding fat from your diet.
Yeah.
This seems clearly about leaving something or someone out.
Yep. Exclude means to deliberately not include something or someone, to keep them out.
And exclusive.
Exclusive can describe something limited to just a select group or something that keeps others out, like an exclusive club or an exclusive interview.
Right, keeping others out. Okay, and finally for this group, preclude.
Preclude.
Examples. Lack of time precludes any further discussion, and your failure this year does not preclude the possibility of your applying next year. This sounds stronger than exclude, like it makes something impossible.
That's the key difference. You nailed it. Preclude means to prevent something from happening or make it impossible beforehand. It's stronger and more definitive than just excluding something. Lack of time makes discussion impossible. Failure doesn't make applying next year impossible.
Okay, so exclude is keeping out, preclude is preventing or making impossible. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, our last vocabulary set for today is the mut-mute family. Communicate, commute, and mutual.
Right, related to change or exchange.
Let's start with communicate. Language evolved as a means of communicating information between individuals. Pretty fundamental sharing information.
Precisely. To communicate is to exchange thoughts, ideas, information with others. And communication is the process of doing that. You know, we communicate in so many ways, speaking, writing, even body language. It's all about that exchange.
Essential stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, next, commute. I've only a short commute to work, and we have the noun commuter. This seems very specific to the journey to work.
It is. Your commute is that regular trip you make between home and your place of work or study.
That daily grind for many people.
Often, yeah. And a commuter is the person who makes that regular journey, especially if it's over a significant distance.
Okay. And finally, mutual. We met at the home of a mutual friend, and our relationship was based on mutual dependence. This implies something shared, or felt by both sides.
Exactly that. Mutual describes something shared between two or more people or things. Or it can be a feeling or action that's reciprocal. It goes both ways, given and received by both sides.
Like mutual respect.
Perfect example. Or mutual agreement. Shared or reciprocal.
Wow, okay. We've really dug into these 25 words from Day 32, Part 1.
We covered some ground there.
We really did. And we didn't just, read definitions. We looked at how they're used, saw them in action and examples, even that GRE question.
And explored the connections within the word families, which is so important.
Yeah.
And that's really the power of this kind of deep dive, isn't it? By understanding these root connections, seeing words in context, you build a much stronger, much more flexible understanding of English vocabulary.
Much better than just memorizing isolated definitions.
Oh, absolutely. This will be invaluable, not just for your exam, but honestly for your overall English proficiency long term.
So as you listening continue your studies, try to remember that truly understanding a word goes way beyond just knowing its meaning in one sentence.
Think about how it changes in different situations. What other words does it relate to? What might that underlying root suggest?
That kind of active engagement with vocabulary, it really makes your learning much more effective, doesn't it? Helps you become a more confident reader, a better communicator.
Yeah.
So thinking back on our chat today, what were some of the connections or examples that really stood out to you? We'd genuinely love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe as you encounter new words this week, try to apply this approach. Look for those roots, prefixes, suffixes. See if you can connect a new word to others you already know.
Make it a habit.
Exactly. That habit of actively analyzing vocabulary will serve you so well in the long run. It makes the vocabulary learning feel more like a continuous and actually quite rewarding process.